My name's Dr. Ange Rogers and I am a co-founder of Number Doctors along with Bern Long, and this week we are taking over that Teacher Mum's Facebook page. Cal has allowed us to share short videos and posts and tips on how you can help your child with maths at home. So we hope you enjoy this week. And just to give you a little bit of background on me, I have 3 children, so 2 of them are at school. So I'm very much aware of what it's like to be a parent in schools today. In the same way, I'm also a teacher, so I taught for over 10 years in a primary school in Melbourne. So I know what it's like to be on the other side of the gates, if you know what I mean. So currently I am working at RMIT University in Melbourne, and I get to teach the pre-service teachers all about how the best ways to teach maths. So I love doing that because that allows me to see the future of our education, which is very exciting. And I also have a PhD in maths education, which I did when I was on maternity leave with my first child. So I'm very passionate about maths. I love sharing ideas and practical tips about maths, and that's where the idea for Number Doctors came about, because we knew that there was a need for parents to be involved in their children's maths education, and so that's what Number Doctors is all about, but you'll hear more about that as the week goes on. So today's session is all about developing a positive mindset in your child in mathematics. So this is really important, because if children are negative about maths or any area of learning, it's really hard for them to learn. If they're positive, then they're up for the challenge, they're up for the hard work that's required for maths, then that is fantastic, and that's what we want to achieve. This can be hard though, because if you have a negative attitude towards maths, or you had a negative experience at school, then that's something that you can pass on to your children inadvertently, just by your actions and your attitude towards maths. So we're going to look at some ways today to overcome that. The first way is letting them see where you use maths in your life every day, because if they can see that there's a purpose for maths outside the school walls, then they'll see that it actually is something that is useful and that you use every day. So whether it's you're using it to look at budgets, or to look at the calendar to say, in 2 weeks' time I've got to buy a present because it's so-and-so's birthday, or whether it's setting your alarm in the morning, and you think, okay, it takes me half an hour to do the kids' lunches, it takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, it takes me 5 minutes to have my breakfast, and you're doing that counting back to work out what time to set the alarm. All of that is maths that we're using in real life. So make sure you're pointing that out to children. Today I did maths because I did this, and just have it in as part of the normal conversation, and they'll start to see, this maths isn't something that we just do at school, it's something that mum and dad or whoever uses throughout their lives. And if you use it in your job, if you're a builder or an accountant, or wherever you use it, make sure you're pointing that out to them as well. The other thing that you can do is just try and be positive generally about maths. If you look at these images, these are some of the images that come up when I do a search on reading in Google Images. These images are very relaxing. People are having fun reading. You can do it in a lot of different places. They're all different ages. So that's how children feel about reading generally. They see that it's something that happens and is useful throughout their whole lives. These are the images that come up when I do a search on maths. You can see that they're very classroom orientated, school orientated. It's all about getting the correct answer. It's all about anxiety and stress. And if you look at movies and videos that children watch, they're often there's negative connotations with maths. There's maths tests coming up and they're stressing about it. All of those sorts of things don't help the way that maths is seen. So we need to sort of counteract that wherever we can. How can we do that? Well, what I always suggest is for parents to make maths fun at home. So how do we make maths fun? Well, when you do a Google search of playing games, these are some of the images that come up. Look at these. The kids are having fun. The parents are involved. Everyone's engaged. They're all thinking they're still doing, even if if you look at those children who are playing chess, they're thinking hard, but it doesn't look like it's a stressful sort of situation. They're actually having fun and enjoying the challenge. So that's what I advise parents to do. So when you are at home, if you're looking for something to do and you want to, with your child, play a game with them. Literally, I cannot think of one game, a board game or a card game, that doesn't involve some aspect of maths in it. And I always say that in reading, reading a book, literacy, you read a book to your child. In maths, you play a game with them, and they're equivalent. So we're often very good with our youngsters reading books to them, but make sure that you throw a game in there as well, because that's where you're getting that mathematical, the problem solving, the logical thinking, all of those skills. The other thing that you can do is really try and be aware of the messages that you're sending verbally to your children about maths. So if you didn't enjoy maths, or you are anxious about maths, and about 20% of the population, the adult population, have maths anxiety. That's where when they think of something mathematical or they try and do a calculation, their brain freezes because the stress takes over from their and clouds up their working memory, and they just can't come up with the answer. So if that's you, make sure that you fake it until you make it, basically, because try and be positive about maths, because children are very intuitive. They pick up these things, and if you say to them things like, "Oh, I was never good at maths, don't worry, you'll find something you're better at," or they are very damaging messages that you're passing on, because it means that that you're giving them an out. You're saying, don't worry, you don't have to work hard at this. You can't. You were genetically born not to achieve well in this subject area. So, and that's absolutely not true. So, you're not born to be a maths person or born not to be a maths person. It's just about the experiences that you've had throughout your life that builds up your achievement and the way that you succeed in mathematics. So that's another message. Make sure that you're passing on positive messages about maths, and that you're encouraging them to work hard in maths. We don't want them to experience what we did or you did in mathematics. If you had a negative experience, we don't want to pass that on to our children. So just finally, the only thing, and one of the big pieces of research that I think is really critical here, is that there's research to say that maths, the maths achievement level of parents doesn't impact their children's achievement in maths, but their level of maths anxiety does. So that means if you weren't strong at maths, that doesn't affect your child's achievement in maths, okay, their ability to succeed in maths. But your level of anxiety and the way that you pass that or don't pass that on to your children, that has the biggest influence on whether they are successful or not in maths. So I think that's a really good place to end today. Really want you to work on those three things that I talked about: the positive messages associated with maths, making maths fun, so play a game, and the other one was making them aware of where you're using maths in your everyday life. Thanks for watching today, and tune in tomorrow and we'll have another short video. Thanks everyone.